Let's wait for people. Okay, so hello guys, this is Dipanjan from Heritage IT and DSC member, and I will be taking the session on Git today. Let's just wait for a few more minutes for some viewers if they join. Okay, I guess we should start. We have few viewers now. Uh, okay, so Git, what is what you guys have probably heard of Git some way or other, but we will be doing very basic things about like learn how to work with Git a- at 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 the very beginners level. Okay, so let's go through today's agenda. Okay, we will first learn what is a version control system. Okay, then we will talk about what are project trees. We will understand like how usually software projects are managed, not just software projects, any kind of projects. Uh, okay, then we will start with the hands-on Git setup, commits, branching, and whatever. uh, I will be doing the Git setup for only Windows, but except for that, the rest of the talk will be applicable to any platform where Git is supported. Okay, so let's talk about version control. What is version control system? Version control system is basically it's like it's like a history manager for your files. Like whenever you are working on a software project, you have some source codes, you have some assets, you have some license files and other stuff. Everything is there, but you keep adding code to your current project. Then what happens that sometimes you add some code that breaks the project. Like whenever you add some code without testing, suppose you add a new function which does not check whether it is dividing by zero, it is going to break the project at some point at runtime or whatever. So when the that kind of problem happens, what you do, you suppose you are editing currently, and you can go back by pressing control z undo. But what happens if you have made some kind of mistake a week ago, but you are just catching that now? So you cannot go back to that working code that was previously working but now is broken. If you understand that there is a problem that needs to be solved, you will automatically feel why Git is necessary. Okay, so Git or any kind of version control is necessary. So version control system is basically a software to manage your source code and project files version histories. Like uh, through every version, your code is always supposed to be consistent. Like suppose your first program you released is version 1, and after version 2 your code has some new features, but you can, in theory, if break something if there is a bug introduced in version 2 that is harming your users in some way, then you can go back to version 1. So it basically helps you track all the histories of all the files that are in your project. uh, it helps you see who has changed a file. Suppose three people are working on one software project, or for any kind of project. It maybe it doesn't need to be always software projects, right? So suppose you are writing a function that searches something, and some other is that searches a number from a list, and someone else is writing a function that generates a list. Okay, so whoever changes code is recorded if you are using a version control system. So that is a one of the benefits. And the most important thing about this is that all the developers can contribute with confidence that if they break something in the code, it can be recovered to a previously working state. Okay, so that those states are called commits. O- and we are going to be doing some commits today. Developers also can review their project history to find out who has made any changes, when actually they have made the changes. And uh, even the commits have reasons. Suppose you had a problem that was affecting your code, and you document it and you give it a reason, and that reason is noted in your commit history, right? Okay, now that we know, have some kind of idea about a version control system. So Git is one of the version control systems, but there are other version control systems as well, like Subversion and Mercurial and others. But Git is by far the most used. I am pretty sure that anyone who has been studying computer science for even 1 or 2 years, but have at least heard the word Git. Okay, so now that we are done with what is a version control system, let's move on to project trees. Project trees are basically your project root folder, where you are keeping all the source code related files, right? I will show you an example. See, this is a project tree. Okay, this is a project tree which which shows one of my projects. See, there are main.py folder, programs.py program.py, and there is also a image file called qprocessdemo.gif. There is license, readme, and whatnot. So what I want to say is that all these files consist my project, right? So this pyqt demo q process, this folder is called my project root folder, because it contains all the files necessary for my project to work. Okay, just a second, guys. Okay, so this project folder, this can be called a project folder, project tree, whatever. But this is your how you organize your projects. It can be like you can put these files inside a source folder, or you can generate your you can keep your assets in assets folder and other stuff. Like if you are working with a web page or website, you can have html, css, javascript, all the other types of files inside a project tree. If you are working with a c programming, something like c, it will have c files, header files, and make files, CMake files, other kind of stuff. Similarly, different for all the other languages and whatever project you are working with. Okay, so that is all the knowledge you will require for this session. That is all the prerequisite you will require for proceeding with this session. Now let's get to now let's get started with Git. Okay, so I already said that Git is a software that you need to install. So I will stop my screen share now and show you guys how to install Git for Windows. So Git for Windows, I am only showing Win for Windows because I think those people who are using Linux or Mac OS already have some idea how to install software for their projects. So here is okay, I will just show first how to download it. Wait a second. Okay, so if you are using Windows, you go to this site. You just Google Git Windows and go to first link, and you download this. Click download manually. You will have your Git. Okay, I'll cancel it because I have downloaded it already. So I will start with installing this. Okay, I hope you guys can see this. Sometimes these only show new options may be selected, but uncheck this. Let's go next. uh, Here this option is very important while installing for Windows, this git bash here thing. Okay, so you can uncheck this guy option, but rest of the options you don't need to tinker with. Let's go next, and I prefer using nano, but there are few editors supported. Okay, I will recommend you keep nano and just learn using how to use nano, but I'm sure there are some guys who will say vim over nano. Okay, here you don't have to change anything, don't have to change anything, don't have to change anything, don't have to change anything. Default. I think this comes with this as default, but it doesn't really matter for now. Just next. No need to change anything. Next. Okay. Okay, I think my Windows is running the bash file already. I think you get the point. Like if you press install, it will install. I will not overwrite this right now. I'll just cancel it. Yes. Okay. That is the basic installation step. So after you are done installing Git, how do you configure it? The first time you start Git, you need to configure two things. Those are your names and email addresses. Okay, is the font visible? Is the font visible? I think so. Okay, so Git basically adds one command line tool called Git, and you need to do git config just as global user dot name. You need to give your name here. Let's say Dipanjan. Full name. Use your full name inside double quotes. Okay. Then you need to configure your email address. These are required because, as you remember, when I was talking about version control systems, I was saying that every commit you make is recorded. Okay, every commit you make is recorded. So these are the identifiers for knowing who has changed the file. So I will give my email address. Okay. If these are set or not, you can check using git config get user dot name. See, my name is there. And you can also do git config get user dot email. Okay, nice. Let's go learn how to use git with a project. Okay, I'll stop this screen share and I will open my project folder. Okay, guys, so this is a simple project I made. It uses Python. Okay, so it's nothing, it's just it's gonna print 2 to the power x if you input a x number. Okay, I'll just run the code once. Python main, I mean, sorry, source code src main dot py. Okay, welcome to my program. Python is awesome because it is true. So let's enter 5. Okay, fx equal to 32. That is fine. This is our program, right? Here, this whole project is in this folder. Okay, wait, I'll make extra large icon so you guys can see. Okay, source. Yeah, see, here is the main.py file. So this is my project root. This is my project root, and these are my project files, required project files. Okay, so let me go back to my favorite mode for viewing, and let's open the code base again. So this is my program, and I want to use git to manage the code. So whenever I make a change to the code, I will be safely protecting my history of the code, so I can go back to a previous version of the code, right? Okay, so let's open a git window here. I think this is already, yes, this is already inside this folder. Now we will, the first command for using git with sanity maintained is git status. Okay, see, it is saying that this repository is not a git repository. Okay, because we have not used git to maintain it. So we will first do git init inside of it. Okay, see, a lot of things happened, right? Okay, so now we will do git status. See what is it saying? No commits yet. This, like, we are not tracking any files that are essential to us. Like, a project may contain not only your source code but also some test scripts or test files, right? So not all the files are necessary for you to for your project to be built successfully. So you need to select the important files, right? So what files are important for us? This main.py file, right? For now, this main.py file is the only file that is necessary and sufficient for our program to run completely. Okay, so we will do git add. We are adding the file. I think I should increase the font a little more. Git add. So which folder is the file in? It is in the src folder in current directory. So I will do src main.py. Okay, it is added. Now I can check whether it is added by learning what git status. See, so what is it showing? On branch master, no commits yet, changes to be committed. See, this new file source main.py is now being tracked. Okay, so whenever we make we commit this file's current state will be recorded. Its current state will be recorded, and every time you make a change in a committed file, it will show you that the file has been modified. I will show you guys just a second, but first let's commit this file. Like, our project is currently working, so we will commit the file. How do we commit the file? So git commit, and remember, whenever you are doing a commit, it is mandatory, it is essential that you write a commit message. Okay, I will show you guys two ways to do it. First, you can give this dash m flag and you can type your commit message here. So initial commit, let's say initial commit added, it's a message, so you can write it as verbose as possible. So initial commit added main dot py, added main dot py, you can write main file. Okay, see, it is committed. Now if you say git status, sorry, git status, see, that file is completely committed, and these are now being shown as untracked file, because we are not tracking these files yet, because we have not deemed them necessary for our project. Okay, so see, I am using VS Code for writing my code, so it has automatic git integration. See, the main file is not now highlighted because it has been committed. Okay, so I will just quickly write a git ignore, because it will ignore all the files I don't require, which are the .vs code folder and the venv folder, and I will save it. Okay, see, this git ignore file, you can see I am ignoring two directories, .vs code and venv. Now you will see what happens when I run git status. Okay, I'll just increase it. Okay, you can see there are three. Now if I run git status, you will see two folders are gone, but this file is now created. So this git ignore file is essential for our project. I i think it is essential for our project, so I will include it. So I'll include the git ignore. How? Again, you do git add and the file name. What is the file name? Dot git ignore. Okay. I will run git status again. Every time you add something, you should just check with git status. Wait a second, guys, I have a call. Okay, sorry for the interruption, guys. uh See, the new file is being tracked, git ignore is being tracked. Now you need to commit that. So you will do git commit. I said you can commit two ways, but whatever way you choose, you need to write a commit message, right? uh, you may think you are clever if you omit the aim flag, but this will happen when you omit the aim flag. Okay, you will have a nano editor opened, so you have to write your message here. Okay, I'll write added git ignore file to ignore some folders I don't need. Long message, I know. So I'll save it by pressing Ctrl O. A second. Cancel. Okay. I'll save with Ctrl X, and it's created. So if I write git status, we'll see only data folder is not tracked, and the git ignore is also not highlighted anymore, because you can see I have authored this commit and it's been recorded. Okay. Okay, now let's say, what else do you need to know about git? You can maintain a completely local copy of your git, you should know that, because if you don't have internet connection, you completely work in a isolated environment, you can still use git to track your source code. And okay, so yeah, uh, you can use git to track your source code I mean locally. So but we are going to get started with GitHub, which is a distributed version control system. Okay, so what do I mean by distributed version control system? Distributed version control system allows you to have your code hosted in an online repository where other people can also contribute to your code. Now, you just saw I used my name and email address with the commits, and see here all the commits are signed by me. See, it is saying author you. Okay, so to use when someone else will commit to your repository, you will have their email address and their name signed on that commit. Okay, so now what we will do is we will upload our this project to GitHub. Okay, GitHub is the largest largest thing right now in open source. So every project is hosted, not every project, most of the open source projects are hosted in GitHub. Now we will also host our very functional project in GitHub. Okay, I will just minimize this and get started with the GitHub. Okay, so this is my GitHub. I hope you guys can see. uh, so I will, what do I need to do to upload that project? I'll need to create a new repository. Okay, what should I name this? We will name this very functional repo. Yeah. Now we will make it a public repository so you guys can see. And the function very functional repo is its description. We will create the repository. Okay, so now see, here are a lot of jargons written, right? Like this command, this command, this command, or there is also other kind of things, https, ssh. So what do I need to do to upload my code here? That is the question. So you already have a local Git repository, right? You just made it right now. These this project root has a local Git repository. You just need to upload it to GitHub. So what will you do? You will use a remote, my bad. So here the comments are already given, but I need to add something to it. That is, what is origin? Origin. See, there is a line called, there is a word called origin. So origin is nothing but the default repository on GitHub repos, or any, by convention it is called origin. You can call it whatever you want. It is just the name for the remote. Like GitHub is hosted remotely, so you need a remote URL where you can upload your code. I hope I am making sense. You need to copy this remote URL. I mean, I I will omit this whole copying thing. I will just copy the remote URL from here, or you can copy it from here also. Okay, this is your remote URL. Okay, you can have different kinds of remote URL. I will be using HTTPS for now. Just press this button to copy the URL. Okay, now that it is copied, we will go to our console and we will say git remote. I am adding a remote that is called origin. Okay, and then we will paste the URL. What happened is done, but there was a problem maybe. Git remote, sorry, git remote. Yeah, so these are the two remote added, for one for fetching code and one for pushing code. Okay, so this remote is called origin. All right, so now we will push our code. We will say git push. Our code is, our remote name is origin, so we will do git push origin. And one of the important things is that git git actually allows you to create multiple branches of the project, right? So suppose we will come into branches later, but let's just say that I want this to be my main code. Okay, in the main branch I will write main. Previously it used to be called master, so there was this whole movement. After that, this is called, from 1st October 2020, it is called main. I will be pushing my code to main. Caesar C spec main does not match. Oh, what? Wait a sec. Git push origin main. Okay, I think I created a master branch. Maybe. Let me just say. Git remote. Git status. Okay, nice. It's working. So the error was what I was just saying, that our code was hosted in the master branch in the local repository. See, it was called master here, but it switched to main from October 1st. That's why we are getting an error. So we needed to create a branch called main. So we uploaded our code. Now let's check whether it is updated or not. Okay. Okay, very functional code. Okay, we will refresh this page. Nice. See, the code is uploaded here. we can see this main.py file here. See, very functional code, or very functional code. Okay, so okay, we are learning how to push code in GitHub. That is a good thing, but now we have a problem. We want to add a new feature to our code. Okay, say here we have hard coded 2 to the power x. Okay, we want to use a function for this, but I have already written the function, so I don't have to write again. uh, so let's just say this is fx. Okay, see, now we will run git status again. Git status, let's see what happens. See, this file was being tracked. This was important for our project, so if we modify it, Git will automatically tell us that this file has been modified. Please check. If it is all right, then commit this change. So now we need to, before committing, you need to make sure that your project still works, still it is functioning as intended. Yeah. So I will say 5, it is giving me 32. I will test again. I will say 12, it's giving me 4096. So I think it is all right. So our code is fine. So suppose you made a mistake, or and did this 3. Okay, then if I run my code and I say 5, it is not giving me 32. So we know our project will not work as intended. Okay, so I will go back and run this program again. If 5, it will say 32. Cool. Our project is completely working fine. We have added some amount of code refactoring. See, in VS Code you can see the changed parts. See, there is a blue line and there is a blue line. So this portion was added and this portion was added or changed. See, this M stands for modified. This file has been modified. Okay, so what we will do, we will commit this change. We'll check the status again. See, this file is modified, so we need to add the file again. Git add Cersei. Cersei. Now I will need to say something that I'll say something that Git also supports, Git add supports wildcards. I'm not sure you guys know what wildcards are, but if I say git add source star, it will add all the files inside source directory to be tracked. Okay, so we only have one file in the source directory, it's called main.py, but if we run this, the main.py file is also added. You can check by running git status. Git status is your friend, use it. Okay, so modified source main.py is added. So now you have to commit it. Okay, git commit hm added, very useful abstraction. Okay, now we'll push this file to our GitHub. Git push origin main. See, it has been pushed successfully. Now let's check our GitHub. Okay, here it is not updated yet because I have not refreshed the page. I will just refresh the page once. Okay, see, this portion is added and this portion is added. It is updated. You can also check your commits here. See, you go to history, you can see there are 2 commits. Okay, initial commit, you can go here and you can see these lines were added at first. Okay, then you go to this one and it will show you that this file was, this hash was removed and it has been replaced with these lines, and this line was modified to this line. Okay, so in GitHub you can check the history, or you can also check the history using the git command line tool. You don't need to worry about that. So yeah, very functional repo. That is nice. Now let's get into the branching thing I was talking about. Okay, so usually whenever you are using a git project, you should always keep the main branch, like the main code you have, clean. You should not add new features, new codes to it directly. What should you do? You should create a branch. Creating a branch means making a local copy, making a local copy of the whole project directory. Everything that is being tracked will be duplicated at the last commit stage they were in. Okay, so we will do git b, I'm sorry, git checkout dash b, uh, test. We will create a test branch. Okay, now test branch we will check git status. See, there is nothing, but I am planning to add this feature. See, this function I added, and this is added also. But for this function to work, we need the data num text file. So this file is now relevant, right? So now we need to also add that file too. So git status, I will check. I will add all the files, right? I will add all the files that are currently in the project. So we will run git add dot. We'll add all the files. Git status. See, everything is added. So now we will commit git commit m. But what did we do? We added an useful advanced function. Okay, now we will need to push this code in the origin remote at the test branch. Okay, because we created the code in here in the test branch. So now we can see that here in the test branch the data is there, and in the main branch the data is not there. Okay, so in the test branch this is here, and I can do a compare and pull request. Okay, so this function I need to add to my main code. I know it works. Okay, I did not show you guys it works. I just will run this once. It is awesome. Giving 151. If you square these numbers up and add them, you should get 151, but I don't have time to verify this one. Okay, so you can write your description for pull request, like uh, this feature was added. Okay, I'll create a pull request. Okay, now GitHub will check the pull request, that whether this is conflicting with anyone else's code. Okay, now it's my own repository, so I don't have any problem to merge this pull request myself. But if it's someone else's repository, then you will need to submit the pull request, and they will check your code whether it is working, and then they will merge your pull request. Okay, so I will merge the pull request right now. Confirm merging. Merged. So now go to my code and see my main directory previously did not have data directory, right? Now it has. Okay, so this is how do you do pull requests. Here is a main function. This was commented out first, and now it's not commented anymore. So lastly, I will show you very quickly how to contribute to someone else's repository. Okay, okay, so my friend Amit, he has created this demo repository for me to show you guys how to do pull requests. So you guys know that. Okay, just first let me show why you need to do pull request. So here is something. Wait, here is something that event is going on, Hacktober Fest. So if you go to the home page and you see, you will get this t-shirt if you are one of the first 70,000 people, I mean students, to submit 4 pull requests. Okay, 4 pull requests on GitHub. If you submit successfully 4 proper pull requests, then you will get this t-shirt. So I will show you guys how to submit pull request in someone else's repository. First, you need to do fork. You need to fork this repo. What forking does is creates a copy of their repository on your GitHub. Okay, so I have forked. See, this is Amit Manna slash the Git Jam demo, and this is my ID slash the Git Jam demo. So I have a copy of their repository. Okay, so I will now clone this repository in my fold file in my folder. I'll open Git Bash here. I will increase the font. Git clone. Okay, this is another command you guys need to remember. So it is git clone. I will paste the URL. Will clone the file, and I'll go to the Git Jam, and I will open a VS Code window here. Okay, wait, what happened? Hmm, wait a second, guys. Let's just open it from here. Yeah, so this is their code, their project directory. Okay, so here I will add a part Amit Manna has forgotten to add. Okay, I will add this part here, and this should improve the visibility. Open. Okay, see, event details. It's added here. Now if I remove that change, if I remove that change and save the file, you will see what happens. See, there was nothing here, so I changed the files. Now it is there. Okay, this is the change I made. Now I need to commit that. Okay, so I will open on terminal, and I will say git add index.html and git commit im added event details. Now I will upload to my own branch. Git push origin main. Okay, so my version of the code should be updated. So see, this is saying this branch is one commit ahead of Amit Manna's main. So see, my HTML has the event details added. Okay, event details, this portion is added. So now I will do a pull request to Amit Manna's repo, and he will accept the pull request. I'll do this pull request here. See here, my repository is selected from main to Amit Manna's repository is main, and I will say create pull request. This is the changed part. Okay, I'll say create pull request. I'll say okay, let's just skip the comment part. I'll create a pull request. Now I would ask my friend Amit to merge this pull request, and we will check whether the pull request has been merged. Amit, if you are there, please merge the pull request. Hello. Okay, here the pull request was merged. All right, so now you can check his index.html also has my code. Where? Here, see, this part is added here. So that is how do a pull request, and I think that's it. I have shown you guys how to do pull request. I just have some a few more things to show you guys just before giving it back to Fuzzle. That is just hold on a second. Okay, here is the here are all the comments that I used today. I for like I don't have time for this one. Like it is essential that whenever you are updating your code and someone else is trying to get the changes you have made to your code, then they use this command git pull upstream remote name slash and whatever your branch name is, this. And okay, I'll end this here. Back to you, Fazal.
Hey, Amit. Okay, so first of all, uh, I didn't introduce Amit, but I hope many of you know who Dipanjan Patra is. Dipanjan Patra is actually a student in the MCA, in the MCA degree of Heritage. I think it's not HIT, right? It's the Heritage Academy, THA, the Heritage Academy. So, and he was teaching you Git. Now, Git is a really, really important tool. Actually, the most important invention after Linux is Git, and coincidentally, both the invention Linux and Git was done by the same person, Linus Torvalds. So, and I'm actually right here. Yeah, thanks, thanks, guys. MCA is a part of HIT from 20. Okay, okay. Uh, Last time I went to Heritage was in 2019, so I don't know. Yes, so guys, I'm here to tell you that next week we'll have two sessions back to back, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Same timing, 6 o'clock. On Saturday you will be learning how to prototype and create a design, create a product using Figma end to end. And then the second day you will learn how to code it. So it will be a continuous 2 day session, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. I hope you guys will come next week. So signing off. And if you have, okay, one more thing. If you have any query regarding Git or regarding any session that we take place, we are super active on WhatsApp. We are also DSC is super active on WhatsApp. DSC is super active on Twitter, even Facebook, LinkedIn. Just reach out to us. If you have any query, will help you. It's not just that we have a 1 hour session from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock and that is where our responsibility ends. No. If you have any query or you're working on your own personal project and you face some bugs or something, a block that you can't solve, reach out to us. So we will help you there also. We are always there as a community. So, okay, that's it. Bye, guys. Stay safe. Bye, everyone. Yeah.